Hello folks, this is Jan Montarsi here from Gembox Designs. Today I want to show you a little bit more with my BlendAngle templates. These are the BlendAngle templates, and if you go to my YouTube channel and look at the preview, you can see how they work in more ways. But today I'm going to be working on making gradient blends and adjusting gradient blends. The colors I'm using today are Cad Red, Primo Cad Red, and Primo Cad Yellow. And the reason I picked these two colors is, one, Cad Red is so highly pigmented and strong. When you make a blend of a 50-50 shaped triangle blend with the Cad Yellow, which is one of the weakest colors, the yellow basically disappears. So I wanted to show you using these two opposing strength colors so that you can get a blend. Typically when I make blends, my goal is to make a blend that is an even gradient from one color to the other. So starting with the templates, I'm going to move these over a little bit. The template I use today is for the 150 Atlas. There's also one for the 180 Atlas, but today I have this one that I'm using. And I want to show you the standard setup. Now, get in camera range here. This first blend was used doing the standard setup of two equal triangles. And you can see that the blend starts out yellow, because I left a little pure color at the end, and quickly goes into orange, and about right here, it's the same color that it is till about right there, and then it's pure red on the end. And you may want that for some types of canes, like flower petal canes or other things, but typically I like a more gradiated, even blend. Now this blend I did by turning my BlendAngles the opposite direction and pulling them out wider. And remember, this fits the width of your pasta machine, so it's a little bit short of your width so that you can pull the ends out for more pure color on the ends of your blends. So this one was blended, and I got that, which is all yellow, starting to turn into orange, a little bit of darker orange, and then it basically goes to the same color and then pure red on the end. And that may be desirable for some other things. Now, one thing about colors, if we did the same blend and say black and white together, if this was black and this was white, your color might start out white and gradually start turning slightly gray and grayer and grayer and grayer, and then it might be here that it turns all black to pure black on the end. It's different with every color that you use. They're all made with different densities or strengths of pigments. So the best thing to do is to know how to adjust them. So how do I get from this blend to this blend? Well, using these two colors, and I've done enough of these that I know and why I'm going to show you. So now this blend, this third blend, if you look at these, this was two equal triangles, slightly offset. This one was my two triangles, pulled out wide with a lot of pure color on each end, and the excess trimmed off. This is one layer of this triangle setup in one layer of this triangle setup, blended together to get this layer. And then you see it starts out yellow. There's a much longer gradient of it turning into orange. And it goes to about here. I don't know how well this shows up on camera, but then it starts turning almost pure cad red and some really dark pure cad red in the end. This is the blend I like. It's evenly blended from yellow to cad red and changes gradually the whole way through the blend. Now, I do different things with different colors. Like I said, they're stronger depending on the color they are. Cobalt blue and ultramarine blue may react differently for the amounts that you have. If you really want some great color theory lessons, I suggest you get this book. It's by Maggie Maggio and Lily Hunani. Also, another great place you can go for color blending, for making blends, Skinner blends, is Carol Simmons' blog. She has some wonderful scientific ways to make your own templates and make your own color blends depending on the colors you're using. Most of the work I do is simple, and I tend to go for an even gradiated blend. So, getting started with the yellow and red. And if you have any questions, feel free to ask in the bottom of the video comments on YouTube, and I'll be happy to answer them. Now, because the yellow is so weak and the red is so strong, what I typically do, I'm going to move this out of the way, is I start with a full square of yellow. And I'm cutting it using my needle tool with my template. I'm going to flip this over. And you can either use your template or just take a blade and square off your clay. Now, what this gives me is a square of clay. That's basically 2 of my triangles. Oops. 1, 2. Now, for my red, I start out with a sheet of red. And the first thing I'm going to do is take a cut this is my point. I'm going to take a cut of my clay. Then I'm going to position, this was the mark where my point was. I'm going to position, I'm actually going past that. I'm going to position my template like that, and I'm going to cut out this piece. This is the piece I was going for. So, because the red's so strong and the yellow is so weak, now if you see how I have this set up, I'm going to have a little pure color of yellow, and it's going to gradually start turning orange and get redder and redder till it gets to the end where it's very red. Now, If I blend this right now, what I'm going to have is yellow and a slight change to orange, and that same color will basically stay the same to here. And it'll be a paler orange. So I need to get some more red in this area. So what I do, I add 2 more pieces to my blend. I'm using the smallest of the mini templates, and I'm going to cut 1 piece of that. I'm then going to cut that in half. And I'm going to cut half of that in half again. So now, I take this larger half of the triangle, and I set that right on my edge. And that gets me out to the middle. So by the time the clay is blended and it starts turning orange, it's going to be the same color orange from here to here. Then it's going to start picking up more redness as it gets towards the end. I will probably have the same color orange from here to here, and I want it more gradiated. This is what we're going for. So I'm going to take these 2 triangles. I'm going to place one at the end here, which adds more red into this zone. And here where it gets small at the end, there's so much red at that point, it won't make a color change difference. And then I'm going to set this one here. This brings more red out to my farther point. Now, I'm going to blend this quickly, and hopefully I can figure out how to take it out of my video so you don't have to listen to me blend the clay. And as usual, I take my cardstock, I cut my piece in half, and I use cardstock to pick it up and stack. Of course, I stuck to my cardstock. So I'm going to blend this, and then I'll be back. Now, if you notice, when I'm folding, always fold your ends first, then touch in the middle. And I will put the links to Carol Simmons' blog and the book I mentioned, Polymer Clay Color Inspirations by Lindley Hunani and Maggie Maggio. They are essential tools. I know many people are just, occasional hobbyists, and these templates are great for you, but knowing how to blend colors so that you can make color mixes that work for you and are repeatable is a very nice thing to have when you're polymer claying. Excuse me. You can see my colors are starting to be a nice, even change. The gradient is evenly getting darker, darker, darker towards the pure red. Now, I would do this a few more times, but you can see that I was able to repeat that same blend. And just like color mixing recipes, if you take a picture of your setup or do yourself a little note card with the colors that you used and your layout, you can make repeatable blends using the templates. Now on this one, I think I got a little thicker area of red at the end, and I'm not going to worry about it because I usually cut my blends into sections and use them in different ways aside from caning. But you can see where this is almost there. I'm not going to continue to blend that now, but now one thing I do to check my blend. When I have a blend and I think it's perfect, how I like it, I will cut it in half and flip one half over. It just helps me visualize that, yes, you know, my orange in the middle there is the middle color between the two. And it's something that I do that really helps me visualize. I'll show you on one of these other ones the difference. Now you can see about that much I have in the middle is the same color. So this little test I do, and then if I wasn't happy and was going to reblend that, you just put them back together and then run them through the pasta machine some more to put them back together. Or if you're going to add a piece to change your blend. I will do more of these with other colors in the future. Now, another thing that you might want to take into consideration, if you're using the 180 template, it is much bigger. And I use thin layers of clay. This is my fifth thickest setting on my pasta machine. So when I cut my triangles, it looks like I have a lot of clay, but by the time I roll that down, this would be like a number 2 on my pasta machine. It's not a huge blend, but it's enough to do a project or two with. But when you're using the bigger one, your angle's slightly different. So if you had your big square of yellow and you cut out your red angled edge and bottom, you may want to cut your red for your insert longer. And I'll show you what I mean by that. So instead of using that size triangle, you'll want to, let me put these together here for you. So you can see the 180 is about 1 inch longer. So I would add about 3/4 of an inch to the end of that triangle. And just as I put the other one together first, I will cut this in half. Hopefully I'm in half. And I'll cut one side in half again. And when I lay these on my square of yellow, I will do them the same way. Only on a larger scale because I'm using the 180 machine. And that would be on my sheet of yellow with my red border going around the one corner. I hope that makes sense to everybody. Like I said, if you have any questions, you can ask me in the comment sections on the YouTube video. And please, I will do go check out the book and Carol Simmons' blog that I mentioned. There's a wealth of information for new people. I know I've had the pleasure of taking both workshops from both, actually all three of these people, and it's usually a life-changing experience as far as polymer clay goes, what you learn in their workshops and from their books and blogs. The book is more about actually mixing colors and creating colors, where Carol's blog is about that, but she takes a much more scientific approach to her layout of her blends, and they're all beautiful. So please check those out. Thank you, and have a great day.